Welcome back to my channel. I am Sierra and today I'm going to be sharing with you a video that I actually made about a year and a half ago for an organization that never ended up posting it. So since it's been over a year, I figure it's fair game now. As always, these suggestions are just my opinion and from my perspective. So if they do not resonate with you, that's totally fine. Because after all, in the full scheme of the universe, how much do I really know? Probably not that much. I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get going. My name is Sierra, I am a writer and an editor, and today I'm going to be offering some suggestions for how you can avoid perpetuating harmful stereotypes in your writing. I know it's a big topic and this will in no way be a comprehensive discussion, but hopefully it will be a good starting point for learning how to make a positive impact through your writing. All of these suggestions relate to writing about any group that you are not personally part of. That means any racial or ethnic group, a different sexuality, orientation, or gender identity, a learning difference that you do not have, such as dyslexia or ADHD, different educational backgrounds or socioeconomic status, and life-altering experiences such as trauma and PTSD. Just so that we're all on the same page, here is a definition of what a stereotype is. A stereotype is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. Merriam-Webster also notes that stereotype is most frequently now employed to refer to an often unfair and untrue belief that many people have about all people or things with a particular characteristic. So some of them will seem rather benign and others will be downright offensive. First up, assume you know nothing. Tropes and stereotypes and universal assumptions are perpetuated throughout books, television shows, and movies. As young people, we soak up these pieces of media and oftentimes adopt the assumptions and stereotypes, not realizing what's happening. Most of the time, we are not to blame for the stereotypes and assumptions that we consumed as children, but it is our responsibility to unlearn them. Every race, culture, ethnicity, religion, socioeconomic strata has some stereotypes attached to them. So if you're going to be writing about a group that you are not part of, you cannot base your depictions on these formed assumptions. You need to do your research. If you go into your writing with the assumption that you know nothing, then that means your first step is going to be research. By research, I mean that you need to read about the history of the group you're going to be representing and consuming the media that they themselves create. You need to make sure that you're consuming their stories, that you understand how this group depicts themselves, not how the outside world views them. Assuming you know nothing will open your mind to all of the possibilities. It will allow you to do real research and seek knowledge with an open mind, unencumbered by the stereotypes and assumptions that you have unknowingly absorbed just by being alive. A somewhat silly example. This is a honey badger, or a stuffed representation of one. Based on its name, I would assume that it likes to eat honey and it is a badger. But after doing research, I learned that actually a honey badger is more closely related to a weasel than it is to a badger. But I was right about the fact that it likes to eat honey. This example shows that there will be some assumptions that are correct, but you won't know that they are correct until you do the research. Next up, be specific. If you are going to be writing about a group that you are not personally part of, it's important that you do not paint them with wide, broad strokes. Let's say you are a Caucasian writer and you want to write about an Asian woman. Well, in order to do that, you need to be much more specific than just Asian, because Asia is a vast continent full of a variety of different ethnicities and cultures and religions. In this case, you would want to be specific, choosing what exact country this person is going to have heritage from or be from directly, and even what region within that country. Being specific will allow you to narrow your focus of research and create a layered, complex, and realistic character. I can broadly describe myself as a writer, but when you get to know me, you find out that I love writing fantasy and I have never, and most likely will never, write a Western novel. That is specificity. Next up, consult the group that you are representing. If you're going to be writing about a group that you do not personally belong to, it is important that you get the perspective of that actual group. I recommend doing this before you write. You can make it part of your research stage, and then also after you've written a draft. There have been various times throughout the years where authors have been called out for their insensitive and incorrect depictions of people within their works. I will not name names, but I'm sure you can think of some examples. These harmful depictions come from that author not taking the time to actually consult the group that they are representing. We are all human, so we have universal experiences and emotions, but there's also a lot that makes us different. Our different experiences experiences are what shapes our worldview. To paraphrase Atticus Finch, you can't really know a person without walking around in their shoes. So ask questions, share your story, listen to feedback, and be willing to adapt accordingly. You can also reach out to local organizations and groups and just see if there's anyone out there willing to read your story. Even if you don't fully understand where they're coming from, respect their point of view and understand that you don't know everything. Just honor that they are upset, acknowledge that you don't know everything, and try to do better. I think you'll find that people generally just want to be respected and understood, and they will be glad to give their feedback on your story. Remember that your words and your stories have impact. And in order to change the world, we have to change the stories that we tell. So I encourage you to use this power to change the world for the better. Let us know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video and if there are any stereotypes you would personally really like to see stop being perpetuated. Thank you for watching. I hope that this video was helpful. Happy writing. Bye!